Hello, our amazing viewers and future conversation masters. Welcome back to the English Episode Channel, the place where we save you from awkward silences, one lesson at a time. I'm Mr. David.
And I'm Emma. And sir, I need this lesson more than anyone. Last week, I used all your amazing tips from our last video to introduce myself to someone new at a party. It went perfectly. I was confident, I was clear, everything was great. And then, crickets. An awkward silence so loud I could hear my own heart beating.
The dreaded post-introduction silence. A classic conversational cliffhanger. You successfully opened the door to a conversation, but you feel like you'd forgotten where you put the key to actually walk through it.
Exactly. It was a complete disaster, sir. We both just stood there, smiling and nodding at nothing. My brain went into full panic mode, and then I asked the worst question imaginable. I looked at him and said, "So, do you like weather?"
Do you like weather? Oh, Emma.
He just looked at me confused and said, "Yes." And then we both looked at our shoes until I pretended my phone was ringing and literally ran away. Who asks that? It's like my brain just reset to factory settings.
Please don't be so hard on yourself. That moment of panic, when your mind goes completely blank and you can't think of a single intelligent thing to say, is something everyone, even native speakers, experiences. The good news is that being a good conversationalist isn't a magical talent you're born with. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned and practiced. It's like being a detective, always looking for clues.
A detective? I like the sound of that. You mean I need to look for clues in what the other person says?
Precisely. And today, we are going to give you your complete conversation detective toolkit. We'll teach you the techniques, the types of questions, and the mindset you need to not just keep a conversation going, but to make it interesting, engaging, and fun. By the end of this video, you will never have to ask someone if they like weather.
You promise? No more awkward silences?
I promise you will have all the tools you need to defeat them. So everyone watching, get ready to become the person everyone loves talking to. Let's start by identifying the #1 conversation killer. The first enemy we must defeat, the closed-ended question.
The closed-ended question? Is that what I asked?
It is. A closed-ended question is any question that can be answered with a simple yes, no, or a single word. For example, are you having a good time? Yes. End of conversation. Do you like this music? No. End of conversation. Do you live in London? Yes. End of conversation. These questions close the door. They don't invite the other person to share anything.
They are conversation killers. I see that now. So if those are the bad questions, what are the good questions?
The good questions are our first and most important tool in our detective kit, open-ended questions. These are questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. They require a real answer, a description, an opinion, or a story. They typically start with what we call the 5 W's and H. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. These questions open the door wide.
Okay, so instead of asking, "Did you have a good weekend?" which is a yes-no question, what should I ask?
A brilliant example. You would change it to an open-ended question like, "What did you get up to over the weekend?" or "How was your weekend?" Now, the other person has to give you some details. They can't just say yes.
That makes so much sense. Let me try to convert one. Instead of asking, "Do you like your job?" I could ask, "What's the most interesting part of your job?"
Perfect, Emma. You've gone from a closed door to an open invitation. You're a natural detective already. This simple switch from closed to open questions is the single biggest step you can take to keep a conversation going.
This is a game changer, sir.
It truly is. And for everyone watching, here is a small challenge. Think of a common closed-ended question you ask. Now turn it into an open-ended question and write it in the comments below. And if you just had a light bulb moment, show us by hitting the like button and subscribing to the English Episode channel for more detective tools. All right, Emma, So you've mastered tool number 1, open-ended questions. You know how to ask questions that keep the door open. But now for the next big problem. What do you ask about? You can't just ask why all day. That would be very strange.
Exactly. I've asked about their weekend. What's next? I can't just start asking them about their deepest secrets.
You can't. This is where we need our second super tool from the detective kit. It's a simple, easy-to-remember acronym. FORD. It stands for Family, Occupation, Recreation, and Dreams. These are 4 safe, universal topics that you can almost always ask about to get to know someone better.
FORD. Okay, like the Ford Company. I can remember that. Can you break it down for me, sir?
Of course. Let's start with F for family. You have to be a little careful here, as family can be a sensitive topic for some, but general questions are usually safe. Instead of, "Are you married?" a closed, sometimes too personal question, you could ask, "So, do you have a big family?" Or a very common one, "Where did you grow up?" This often leads to great stories.
Okay, where did you grow up is a great, safe question. What about O for occupation?
This is usually the easiest one. People spend a lot of time at work and often have a lot to say about it. We already practiced one. Instead of, "Do you like your job?" you ask, "What's the most interesting part of your job?" Other great questions are, "How did you get into that line of work?" Or, "What does a typical day look like for you?"
How did you get into that line of work? I love that. It asks for their story. This is so much better. Okay, next up, R for recreation.
Recreation is all about fun. It's what people do when they're not working. This is where you discover their hobbies and passions. Instead of the boring, "Do you have any hobbies?" ask, "What do you like to do in your free time?" Or, "What do you do to unwind?" If they mention something they like, ask more about it. "You're into hiking? That's cool. What are some of your favorite trails?"
It seems so obvious now that you say it, sir. I'm just not used to asking these kinds of questions. Okay, what about the last one? D for dreams. This sounds a bit deep.
It can be, but in a good way. Dreams doesn't necessarily mean their deepest hopes and fears. It can refer to their goals, ambitions, or travel plans. It's about the future. So, do you have any exciting travel plans coming up? Or is there anything new you're hoping to learn this year? A fun hypothetical one is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? This one is great for a more casual, fun conversation.
So the Ford method gives me a map of 4 different areas I can explore in a conversation. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. I'll never run out of topics.
Exactly. It's your conversational roadmap. Now, a quick but important warning. Just as there are safe topics like Ford, there are topics you should generally avoid when you first meet someone. A common acronym for this is MAP. Money, age, and politics or religion. These topics can be very personal, sensitive, or lead to arguments. It's best to stay away from them until you know someone very well.
That is very good advice, sir. I will stick to the Ford roadmap and stay away from the map danger zones.
A wise detective avoids unnecessary trouble. And for our viewers, which Ford topic do you find the easiest to talk about? Family, occupation, recreation, or dreams? Let us know in the comments. Your answers help us understand what you're interested in. All right, Emma, we have our first 2 super tools, open-ended questions and the Ford method. You know how to ask and what to ask about. But there is one more skill that is perhaps the most important of all. It's what separates a good conversationalist from a great one. And that skill is active listening.
Active listening? You mean just listening to what they say?
It's more than just being quiet while the other person talks. It's listening like a detective. You are actively listening for clues, for interesting words, for emotions, for anything you can use to ask your next question. Your next question should almost always come from their last answer. This shows you are truly listening and not just waiting for your turn to speak.
Okay, sir, that makes sense. But how do I actually do that? How do I find the clues?
I'm going to teach you a simple but incredibly powerful technique. I call it the echo and question. It's a two-step process. Echo. You find one interesting key word in their last sentence and you echo it back to them, often with a curious tone. Question. You then immediately ask an open-ended question about that specific key word.
Echo and question. Can you give me an example, sir?
Of course. Let's say you ask me, "What did you get up to over the weekend?" And I reply, "Not much. I just went to a really interesting photography exhibition." Now, what's a good key word in my answer?
Photography exhibition.
Exactly. Now, apply the technique. Step 1, echo.
Oh, a photography exhibition?
Perfect. Your tone shows interest. Now, step 2, question. Ask me an open-ended question about it.
What kind of photography was it?
Brilliant. See what you did? My answer, it was a collection of stunning black and white portraits from the 1950s. Now gives you new keywords. Black and white portraits, 1950s. You could then ask about either of those. This is how you create a conversation chain. Each answer provides the material for your next question.
It's like they're handing you the key for the next door. This is the secret, isn't it, sir?
This is the absolute core of it, Emma. It shows you are engaged, curious, and that you value what they are saying. It makes people feel heard. Let's do a role play. I'm going to give you a simple answer, and you have to use the echo and question technique to keep the conversation going. Ready?
Ready.
You ask me, "What do I do for work?"
So, Mr. David, what do you do for work?
I'm a writer.
Oh, a writer. That's fascinating. What kind of things do you write about?
I mostly write articles about technology.
Technology? Wow. What's the most exciting piece of technology you've written about recently?
That would have to be the advancements in reusable rocket technology. It's been a game changer.
Reusable rockets? How does that technology actually work?
And scene. Emma, that was magnificent. You took a very simple one-word answer, writer, and through active listening and follow-up questions, you got me talking about something I'm passionate about. That is how you create a memorable conversation.
I did it! I was a real detective. I followed the clues.
You did. And for all our detectives watching at home, we have a challenge for you. Read one of the comments on this video. Find a keyword and reply to that comment using the echo and question technique. Let's start a huge conversation chain right here. And if you love this technique, like this video and subscribe to join our detective agency.
Emma, I am incredibly impressed. You have mastered asking open-ended questions, you have the FORD map for topics, and you know how to actively listen with the echo and question technique. Your conversation detective toolkit is almost full, but there is one final crucial tool.
What is it, sir?
So far, we have focused entirely on asking questions and getting the other person to talk. But a good conversation is a two-way street, not an interrogation. If you only ask questions, the other person might start to feel like they are in an interview. You also need to share a little bit about yourself.
But sir, I thought the golden rule was to be interested, not interesting.
A very sharp observation. The rule still applies. You are not trying to take over the conversation and make it all about you. You are simply building a bridge between their experience and yours. This technique is about creating a me too moment.
A me too moment? What do you mean?
It's that wonderful moment in a conversation when you realize you have something in common. It's a moment of connection. The way to create it is with a simple 3-part formula. Acknowledge and validate. Briefly acknowledge what they said. That's so cool. Wow, that's interesting. Share a brief related experience. This is the Me Too part. Briefly share your own story that relates to what they just said. The key word is brief. Pass it back with a question.
Okay, a formula. I like formulas. Can we use our hiking example from before, sir? Let's say I ask someone what they do for fun, and they say, I love hiking.
A perfect example. Now, let's say you also like hiking. You would apply the formula. Acknowledge, oh, that's awesome. Share, I'm a big fan of hiking too. In fact, I went to a national park a few weeks ago and the views were incredible. Have you ever been there? Or what's the best hike you've ever been on?
I see. So I didn't just take over and tell a 10-minute story about my hiking trip. I just quickly shared that we have something in common and then immediately made it about them again.
Precisely. You built a bridge. You showed them a piece of yourself, which makes the conversation more balanced and encourages them to share more. It's a give and take. This is what turns a simple Q&A session into a genuine, flowing conversation.
This feels like the final piece of the puzzle. It connects everything together. So I ask an open-ended question, I listen for clues, I ask a follow-up question, and then when it feels right, I can build a bridge by sharing a small related story before asking another question.
You have just described the complete dance of a good conversation, Emma. That is the rhythm. Let's do one final full role play. We're at a coffee shop. You've just introduced yourself. Go.
So, Mr. David, what do you do to unwind when you're not teaching?
Open-ended question. Recreation. That's a great question. I actually do a lot of gardening. I find it very relaxing.
Oh, gardening. That's really cool. What kind of things do you grow?
Mostly vegetables. I'm trying to grow my own tomatoes this year.
Wow, homegrown tomatoes are the best. My grandmother has a small vegetable garden, and I remember helping her when I was a kid. It was so much fun. Do you find it difficult to grow them in the city?
And I see and seen. Emma, that was perfect. It was a balanced, interesting, and engaging exchange. You are no longer the girl who asks about the weather. You are a conversation detective.
I am! I feel like I can talk to anyone now.
You can. And for everyone watching, remember that a conversation is a partnership. What do you do to make the other person feel comfortable sharing? Let us know your tips in the comments.
Emma, I am truly blown away. Today, you have assembled the complete Conversation Detective Toolkit. We started by defeating the conversation killer, the closed-ended question. We replaced it with open-ended questions. We learned the Ford method to give us a map of safe and interesting topics. We mastered active listening with the echo and question technique. And finally, we learned how to build bridges and create connections by sharing our own experiences.
I feel like a completely different person. The fear of that awkward silence is gone because I know what to do now. I have a plan, I have tools. I don't have to just stand there and smile awkwardly. I can actually connect with people.
And that is the ultimate goal of language, isn't it? Connection. Remember, these skills will feel a bit mechanical at first, like you're following a script, but the more you practice, the more natural they will become. Soon you won't even have to think about it. You'll just be having a good conversation.
I can't wait for that day. Thank you so much for this lesson, sir. It's been invaluable.
The pleasure was all mine, Emma. And as always,
A huge thank you to our incredible community here at the English Episode channel. Your engagement and your passion for learning are what make these lessons possible.
We appreciate you all more than you know. So if this video has given you the tools to defeat awkward silences, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with anyone you know who fears small talk, and of course make sure you're subscribed to our channel.
Your support helps us to keep creating lessons that tackle real-world English challenges. So, until next time, keep listening like a detective, keep asking open questions, and keep connecting.
Goodbye, everyone. Wait, sir, one more thing.
There's always one more thing, isn't there? What is it, Emma?
Okay, so I know how to start a conversation, and now I know how to keep it going, but what if I need to leave? I had a conversation last week that just went on, and I was late for my bus. I didn't know how to stop talking without being rude. I can't just run away like I did before.
Ah, the graceful exit. The art of politely ending a conversation. You're right, it's just as important as starting one. If you don't know how to do it properly, you can undo all the great connection you just built.
Exactly. How do you say, "I need to go now," in a way that doesn't sound like I'm bored of you?
Now that sounds like an essential skill for everyone to learn, doesn't it? A perfect topic for our next video. How to end a conversation politely without being rude.
Yes, we need that. Please, sir.
If you are watching want to learn the secret phrases to make a smooth and graceful exit from any conversation, let us know in the comments below. Type "Teach us the exit" and make sure you have that notification bell turned on because you won't want to miss our next lesson.
Okay, now I can politely prepare to leave. Goodbye for real this time.
Goodbye for now, everyone.